Jive Turkey.
No, now, Lou. Nobody called anyone a JT.
Jive Turkey is a little over the line, my man.
That's right, welcome back to the Darin-Replaces-Simon video blog, where we promise to keep it civil this week. Nobody will be calling anyone a jive turkey. Well, maybe Casey Abrams, in a good way, of course. But we will get a little more critical as the field narrows. So in honor of Idol's surprise top 13, we'll highlight the 13 mistakes that have been made over the past few weeks. And it all gets started with number 13, our little jab at J-Lo. I think it's fair to say everybody, both men and women, love your breasts, J-Lo, and few would argue with seeing more of them on a nightly basis. But simply put, Jesus doesn't need to live in your cleavage. Girl, you gotta shorten up that chain just a little bit.
I'm like that cookie cupcake with the frosting on it and the designs. I like cookies.
Coming in at number 12 is our old friend Brett Lowenstern. He had perhaps the funniest line of the night in the outtake interviews, but honestly, I have to believe his performance of Light My Fire would make the Doors, both dead and alive, puke on their poetry. At number 11, forget the song choices, what about the clothing choices? Sometimes contestants could use a bit more or maybe a bit less help with their get-ups. One of our favorite frontrunners, Lauren Elena, is a perfect example. She goes from tasteful to crazy pink princess, which I actually liked, to looking like she's headed to the rough and tumble for ladies' night on the Mechanical Bull. And as one of our other followers put it this week, what's with all the petticoats? Are they back in style? At number 10? Well, I love Paul McDonald and want to see what he's going to do next with the gravelly voice. But doesn't his smile remind us all of Ross on an episode of Friends?
And this is a singing competition, and that was brilliant.
What's number 9? Well, I can tell you what it's not. It's not a singing competition, as Randy so often likes to say. So much so that it's one of the rules of the Darin-Replaces-Simon drinking game. The show is about finding a star, a successful recording artist. And while singing is a big part of it, rarely does the best singer win. Creativity is the key, because regardless of what my dog says, Idol would rather uncover the next Lady Gaga than the next David Archuleta. Mistake number 8 of the past few weeks? Trying to prove me wrong. That's right, after a few critical comments of Tiffany Rios on Twitter, calling her the next Tatiana, somebody named Tiffany Rios 12 sent me a YouTube link, apparently designed to prove me wrong. Well, it didn't. I've retweeted it on the D-Replaces-Simon feed for your viewing pleasure. And now we start to get into the nitty-gritty of the final 13. Mistake number 7 is Idol's singer-songwriter backlash. Sure, we all agree it has slowed the show in past seasons. Did Lee DeWise really win it all last year? But when you begin to limit certain types of singers, you risk cutting truly creative artists in the making. Guys like Caleb Hawley, Carson Higgins, and Chris Medina were fan favorites who deserve to have America, not the judges and producers, decide their fate. Instead, we were left with lots of somewhat big-voiced clones. Who can really tell the difference between Giovanni, Robbie, and Stefano? Or is it Stefano?
This kid could be on the radio right now.
The number 6 mistake is not making the contestants earn it. I've been a big fan of Ashton, but there's no doubt that her live or die performance was less than stellar. Even she knew it at the end of the song. The judges put her through on past performance, and if that's the case, why not a top 14 or even a top 15? Because mistakes number 5 and number 4 certainly deserved another shot as well.
What kind of song? What style?
What would you go with? John Legend.
John Legend? What would you have thought if you had heard him do John Legend, Jennifer?
Which one?
Which song? Can I say it? Which one? Which song? Ordinary People.
Yes.
That's a good one.
Number 5 mistake was not giving Jordan another chance. Clearly he got some bad advice to sing an Usher song and dance around like he was on solid gold. But the moment he said he'd come back with a John Legend song should have been the moment the judges said, hey, yeah, that's something we want to hear. Instead, he just sat on the sidelines, and we'll never hear from him again, unfortunately. Even worse was mistake number 4. Clint June Gamboa simply got robbed. He's got twice the voice and personality of any of the 3 guys who got a second chance, and he can go crazy in the upper register, almost on par with James Durbin and Jacob Lusk. He was fun, he was exciting, and Idol owes him another shot. And speaking of robbed, the crime of the century was America not getting to vote for Chris Medina, which comes in all alone at mistake number 3. I see from the Seacrest Twitter feed that they're helping raise money for Chris's fiancée, but Idol is borderline negligent when they attach us this much to a guy this talented and then don't let the voters decide whether or not he should be the next American Idol. Story alone would not have done it for Chris Medina. But that guy has talent and deserves to be on the country's biggest showcase to see what he can do.
Fight for my life, I will, and I'll fight. I was raised a fighter.
And then there was Julie Zorrilla, mistake number 2. She was a lock to reach the final 4, cruising along with her strong voice, smooth style, and general hotness. But as was said to me as Julie said goodbye, people don't like it when pretty girls get cocky. I'm not sure if it was arrogance, but she did violate the number 1 rule of Idol song choice. Never sing something that is a signature of a previous Idol winner. Naima barely survived singing Summertime, and Julie's nowhere nearly as good as the original of Breakaway tore her out of the running. And I guess that makes Haley the winner in the Battle of the Legs. So what's the number 1 mistake, you ask? Well, it's all you Darin-Replaces-Simon fans who keep saying that Jive Turkey Casey Abrams is my doppelganger. Please do not besmirch our favorite contestant with that comparison. I'm a fat, scruffy, no-talent hack in my 40s. If I can win American Idol, something is deeply wrong with America itself. But I thank you all for considering me sexy.
The Darin-Replaces-Simon video blog is the brainchild of Jenny from the OC block, who thought it would be a good idea to share our Idol thoughts in blog form, only to have me bastardize it into an iMovie 11 project for all the world to see. Special thanks to American Idol, Fox, and Freemantle Media for not suing us for unauthorized use of the footage, especially since we make no profit from it. And even more additional thanks to Jim Vanderslaan for challenging me to work Jive Turkey into this week's episode.